Ta-da, I did.
Happy
Where'd you go?
Friday.
Come on in.
Oh,
Hold on, get the box.
so for those of you who don't know, I'm not as tall as Matt in real life. Surprise!
All right, yeah, I need a bigger
Yes.
box. Welcome to WAFB 9 News now on a Friday.
It feels so good saying
It
that.
does, you know,
Yes.
just something about it. Did we change that? I did, okay. Just making sure that the label was right.
Hey, it's brighter.
It is we kind of moved around a little bit.
Yes, we did.
The WAFB Plus is going to come into its own here pretty quick, kind of getting its legs underneath it, so to speak.
Yes.
Figuring out how to walk and then run before we crawl. We kind of shifted things around.
That's
but
it.
It's kind of the same feel a little bit.
That's it. And we're still doing the same thing as today. We're going over the top headlines.
Big one for today is actually as you step through the weekend as well, a couple of big vaccination sites when it comes to the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And it's a couple of spots that folks in town are going to know very well.
Let's start with the one happening right now. Over at Tiger Stadium, believe it or not, in the south end zone, medical workers are actually vaccinating people. And by people, I mean staff, LSU staff members, student workers inside of Tiger Stadium. They're asking people to register, and we've actually got that information in a story about COVID. If you go to the hamburger menu and go to COVID, we have all of the mass vaccination events. That's just one of the big ones happening today.
If you go a little up north of that to the other major university in our little part of the world, Southern University, working with Ochsner actually for a huge vaccination opportunity tomorrow. Right there at the F.G. Clark Activity Center, the mini dome, not inside, the parking lot, where they've kind of done it before. And I tell you, Liz, they are getting really good at making this efficient.
That's because they're doing it over and over again, which is good. That means more people will get vaccinated, and thus herd immunity will happen. Yes.
Wouldn't it be nice to get there? That mythical, I'm telling you.
Mythical.
It's out there. It's out there waiting for us.
Yes, and he's getting his today. I'm excited.
I actually am. I'm getting my shot today. I'm I'm wicked excited about it. 12:50 today.
Okay.
Shot in the arm, baby.
Tell people so they can come shop with you.
That's exactly right. It's 12:50, people. Anyway, so that's going to happen. Hopefully you guys are on board as well. And getting ready to do it. What we've seen, because more and more folks are getting the vaccine, more and more folks continuing to physically distance, wear the mask.
Yeah.
We've seen something good at our big hospitals recently.
Great news to share.
Yeah.
Our Lady of the Lake in Baton Rouge General reported on Wednesday and Thursday that they have not admitted a COVID-19 patient. That is huge as we pass that 1 year mark for COVID-19 being a thing in the state of Louisiana.
Wow.
Huge.
To think about that, because it's been the story.
Yeah.
It is, and it still will be. But not admitted. There's still more than 400 patients statewide in the hospital, and right around 70 still on a ventilator. Those numbers obviously lower than where we've seen them recently. But when you talk about the major hospitals in our area not admitting a COVID patient over a 24-hour period for the first time in more than a year,
that's something to celebrate, Matt.
It really is something to celebrate. And maybe, just maybe, that continues to happen after next Monday. I'm telling you, Monday, big day.
16 and up. Any Louisianian who is 16 and up is now eligible to get a vaccine. Again, come Monday. And remember, for parents who are still trying to navigate all of this, Pfizer is the only vaccine that 16 and 17-year-olds can get. Pfizer, Moderna and Johnson & Johnson, 18 and up can get. So big news there.
Huge. And obviously we'll be talking about more about that coming up next week. All right, so there you go. That's a bunch of COVID and all the vaccine stuff.
All of it.
Something else that's going to grab headlines today, though, LSU meeting with the Louisiana lawmakers today. Actually, again today, you had some, this is after a meeting last week as well. This meeting set for 11 o'clock, and we know what they're talking about.
Yeah, so LSU leaders, the Senate Select Committee on Women and Children, they're meeting again with LSU leaders, this time calling on LSU leaders to testify. As we reported this morning, Senator Regina Barrow, she's the chair of this committee, they're disappointed that the only 2 people have been disciplined, or suspended rather, during this time, considering the fallout of the report.
Yes, it's all about the Title IX report, and that has been not just a headline maker here, that has obviously been all the way, exactly right, certainly all the way up into Oregon, with Oregon State University and the fallout there as well, to University of Kansas, the fallout there as well with the football coach, former football coach at LSU. So that meeting happening at 11 o'clock today. We will have a crew there for you, so obviously that's going to be a big takeaway. Speaking of big, literally takeaways, I want to show you something. There's a couple of giveaways happening actually this weekend. So follow along here. WAFB.com. If you go to the links up at the very top, links, something that you're going to be able to find once you hit there is our community calendar. And that is where we put so much stuff onto that calendar because we got so many events going on. And included in that, you scroll up, hello, welcome to March. If you scroll down and you get to today, 26th, and tomorrow, that kind of thing, there is a huge food distribution event going on. There's also a big Easter basket drive-through giveaway going on.
Multiple Easter drive-through giveaways,
So this is, again, this is some things going on this weekend. Maybe plan your weekend around some of these
Yeah,
events.
and the great thing about this is that you can add in your own events. There are so many things that we can only get to in our newscast and on here. So if you have something that you think would benefit the community, maybe your neighbors, like a food giveaway, a mask giveaway, you can enter your own events with all the details in there, so our community, our viewers, can see what's happening.
It's really easy. It really is a great resource and a great tool.
And look how many things are already on it.
I know it, and if you keep going through and you get to April, and as soon as all that stuff populates, it really is, like you said, a great way to just put on those events and let folks know. Speaking of letting folks know, the forecast for our little part of the world, talking to Dr. Steve this morning, had a little bit of fog out there. To think that was our issue this morning was we'll take every bit of that. Because we know kind of the last few days what a lot of folks have been dealing with.
Right.
You look out to our friends in the East, I mean, recovery this morning.
Well, let me tell you, we are thankful to have dodged a bullet because remember, we had 3 first alert days, the third one not being severe, that flash flood watch had lifted, but that severe weather hit our neighbors in Alabama again. This is the second week in a row that they've had tornadoes with fatalities.
5 is the number right now. 5 people losing their lives to this line of storms, this latest round of storms that just ripped through the southern part of the country. And Mississippi, Alabama, into Georgia. Seeing that video this morning, and again, as that cleanup begins, but for some folks, they're not even worried about cleanup, they've lost somebody. They've lost a family member, 5 lives taken because of this latest round of storms. So we will absolutely take everything we've got right now. 66 degrees going. And actually, if you look at the 3 day, if you look into the weekend, I can just tap on the weekend, look at this. 85 degrees on Saturday?
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
That is warm. How are your allergies right now?
Ooh, let me tell you. I have a pollen app on my phone that tells me every day, and it's high, and I don't need it to tell me because it's piled on top of my car every morning.
That's true too.
But it is bad.
Yeah, it really
and let me tell you, don't let this fool you because the lows are still going to be in the 40s towards the end of next week. So that's how Louisiana weather is come springtime. It's very uncertain. That's why we consult with Dr. Steve every day.
I tell you, every once in a while you want to take Louisiana weather out to the woodshed and give it a little what for.
Tell him.
A little what for.
You don't want to mess with Matt in the woodshed.
I don't know what that means. don't go with Matt in the
Well,
woodshed.
you just don't want to mess with Matt Williams, is what it is.
WAFB,
yes.
After dark. All right, so here's the thing. As you think about the weather, it actually does look pretty good as far as outside activities, that kind of thing. Something we were talking about today, actually a live conversation this morning on 9 News this morning with the Baton Rouge Zoo because they got a big something happening this weekend.
Zippity Doo Days. It's a real thing, I promise.
I know it is, absolutely.
Yes, it has been for many years now. So the Baton Rouge Zoo celebrating a huge milestone. This weekend is their 51st birthday.
51.
Big deal.
Yeah.
And so they're having a big old birthday party. They weren't able to do this last year, but they are now doing it and having this event both tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. And they're inviting families to come out, zoo members to come out and come celebrate with Zippity Zoo Days. So they were not able to have this event last year because of COVID, but this year they have taken those COVID protocols in mind and they're inviting people to come back in.
It's so good. So here's what you do, brzoo.org.
Yes.
Such an easy one. Just scroll down. Watch.
Oh,
scroll down.
Take us there.
Zippity Zoo Fest. And so there you see it.
Yes.
It's actually, as she was talking about this morning, they've been open in some fashion since May.
Yeah.
And I've been out there since they've reopened.
That's awesome.
I took the kids out there as well, and it was easy because, like they talk about, acres and acres just to spread out.
Yes.
And it's easy to be safe out there in the world of COVID as we move through this.
Yeah.
And it was such a nice, just walk around. And they've made so many improvements out there, and they've just got more. They've grown more and more and more.
That's awesome.
So to be able to celebrate a 51st birthday is.
Big deal. So just know you have to wear a mask when you go. They're not doing face painting or having the inflatables because those are things where people congregate close together in close proximity. But you can register online, but you can also buy tickets at the door when you get there.
That's right.
So a couple things to keep in mind if you're looking for something to do on Saturday.
It was funny because we were asking them, are you worried about crowd and too many people showing up? Because we're talking about, percent capacity.
Right.
And Robin Lott, was who we were talking with this morning, she said, you know what? We got it covered because actually we can have as many people in the zoo as the kind of COVID mitigation allows as will fit in our parking lot.
Fixes itself.
So it does. It fixes itself. If the parking lot fills up beyond capacity, then they'll probably worry about it.
You may want to come back the next day.
But what a great opportunity.
Yes, indeed.
What a great way to celebrate.
Right in our backyard.
All right, so go back to WAFB.com. This is a big weekend for sports as well.
And that is an understatement. There is so. Where do you want to start?
Well, that's the thing. And man, I know maybe there's not a ton of sports fans out there, like a lot of, but I'm like, wait, what? Really? Because South Louisiana, so many teams to root for. Here's the thing: LSU. We'll get into Southern next week again as they get going for football, spring football. I love it. Spring football for LSU. They've got a scrimmage Saturday in Tiger Stadium.
Yeah.
So we'll see. There's still a lot of conversation about what's going on with the football team. Again, that's happening tomorrow. But baseball and softball tonight, both on the road.
Right.
They're both big.
Both opportunities, both teams you can cheer on by watching on the SEC Network Plus. LSU baseball taking on Tennessee, the Vols, and then softball taking on South Florida, which is
Florida.
Florida. I'm
Yeah.
so,
The
they're
Gators,
supposed to take
SEC.
on South Alabama. That's what I'm thinking.
That's exactly right. That got canceled.
Yes. So a lot happening tonight, leading into this weekend.
Yeah.
Something cool that I thought you mentioned this morning, LSU's diving team.
Yeah, so the NCAA championships are going on right now. The men's, that's actually men's and women's swimming and diving. Women had their championship. Men's are going at it right now. They're Greensboro, North Carolina. And there is a diver.
Juan Celaya Hernandez?
Exactly right. He's a senior now and has been ridiculously decorated. Been one of the best divers LSU's ever had. But just yesterday, competing in the 1 meter springboard and took home the bronze medal. And they are back in the pool today at the NCAA championships, and they'll wrap it up on Saturday in the NCAA championships, and he'll be back on the board and the platform for a few more shots. He's already a All-American.
Yeah.
Not just this year, but going back a number of years. But it's been pretty good so far for the purple and gold in the pool.
That's awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, he medaled. That's incredible.
I mean, that's just on the podium at the NCAA championships.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible. So there you go. A whole bunch going on. Pelicans playing tonight.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Trying to go for 3 in a row. They haven't won 3 in a row since early February. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we're approaching April.
And we're trying a new nickname.
Okay, yeah. So tell them what our producer, Jacob Cheatwood, has come up with this, and he's really trying to make it fetch.
He literally tweeted at Zion Williamson about this and at the Pelicans about this. Exactly.
Yeah.
So everybody knows that one of the superstars down there, Zion Williamson.
Of course.
Right? And everybody knows the nickname of New Orleans is the Big Easy. So we're taking Zion and the Big Easy, and the new nickname is the Big ZZ.
Hooked on phonics.
I think we can sell the T-shirts right now.
I mean, Steve said he's already willing to print them up, sell them on the court, $15
the Big ZZ.
a pop. It's catchy.
I think so. What we do is you put a Z in front of it, obviously, and you take the S out of easy. So it's all about the Z for Zion, but you leave the A in there in easy.
I like
you just leave it so it's Z-E-A-Z-Y.
I love that.
The Big ZZ.
That's catchy. Make it a thing.
No? Is that a thing?
I think so. We just need him to buy into it, and then the rest of New Orleans will.
We'll see if he's like, who is this on
What?
Twitter at me right now?
Why is this news station from Baton Rouge?
WAFB. Where are they from?
We're trying to make it a thing. We're
Baton
trying to
Rouge.
cheer you on.
I think it can work.
The intent is good.
We're going to make it work.
Yes, it is.
Right.
We're going to sell it.
All right, so there you go. Big weekend coming up. Always a lot going on. And this is one of the ways you can find us.
That's it. In fact, coming up at 3 p.m. today, you want to come right back here because we've got a special feature for the Louisiana weekend. Ms. Kylie Morris has done a great job of rounding up all the delicious places to try, all the things that are happening this weekend, things where if you don't know what to do, we'll let her map it out for you.
One of the great, there's a number of places. We just showed you the calendar where you yourself can put in all the things going on the weekend. Well, what Kylie does is goes out and finds some of these really specific ones and adds faces and adds sound and adds video and adds pictures to it to really help tell the story about South Louisiana and the things that you are able to do.
Yeah.
And she'll be with you 3 o'clock today, as you mentioned.
That's it. One of many exclusive things you can find here on the WAFB Plus.
Yeah.
So you'll see us next Monday, right around the same time, 9:15.
Yep.
In the meantime, for the weekend, we hope you have a great one.
So hope it's a brilliant one. Stay safe out there. You see the mothership at noon.
Yes.
Scotty Hunter going to be around the corner at noon. Until then, as always, WAFB.com and the 9 News app.
Have a good one.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.